Let's talk about An Education in Malice by S.T. Gibson. This video follows the last three Read With Me videos, and it will contain spoilers to An Education in Malice, so be aware of that. And the first thing I want to say about this book is that it was okay for me. I'm not the biggest fan, but it also wasn't super bad. The most problematic thing was for me that I felt quite distant to the characters and couldn't really feel emotions while reading the story. So it was quite difficult for me to connect with these characters. And I don't know if I'm satisfied with this ending. But let's begin from the start and let me tell you about the story itself. It is a dark academia story. It is a fantasy story. And talking about the fantasy aspect of the story, I wasn't quite sure if the story had one. The first 80 to 90 pages, because I've read the synopsis a long time ago before I bought this book last year in March. I forgot everything about it except that this book is dark academia and that it contains a sapphic love story. So this was everything I knew when I started the book. And it is the story of Laura. She is new to this girls' school and she attends one of the literature courses about poetry on the school because she wants to be a writer and really likes poems. And this course is taught by Miss de La Fontaine. It is only a small group of girls, and Miss de La Fontaine obviously has some favorites in this group. The one favorite is Camilla. She gets the most love, the most feedback, and then comes Laura, the new one into this course, and is immediately another favorite of Miss de La Fontaine. So there starts the rivalry between Camilla and Laura, which is more one sided because it is more Camilla that fights for this position as favorite, and she is not amused that she needs to share the attention of Miss de La Fontaine now. So far, not a lot of fantasy, which is why I didn't consider this as a fantasy book the first 80-90 pages. There were some hints that the course of Miss de La Fontaine is always in the evening, that there is something going on between Camilla and Miss de La Fontaine. And then we get to the point where Laura sees accidentally that Miss de La Fontaine drinks blood from Camilla, which is why it makes sense now that these lessons are always in the evening, and why there is such a strong bond between Camilla and Miss de La Fontaine, because Camilla is her blood source and knows that Miss de La Fontaine is a vampire. And Laura is now part of this whole constellation. She knows the secret and they open up to her, which doesn't mean that Camilla can let go of this whole rivalry thing. And even Miss de La Fontaine is super envious when Camilla and Laura start to develop feelings for each other and put their rivalry away at some point and start a friendship and more. So the whole emotional connections between the characters are quite difficult, but I couldn't understand why Laura and Camilla were so fascinated by Miss de La Fontaine, why they felt such a strong bond to her. It is a lot about obsession, And if I write characters that are obsessive over someone, that I need to write them in a way that I can transport these feelings to the reader so they can understand the obsession. That wasn't the case for me here, which is why I had a difficult time with the story. I think the best part of the book was the sapphic love story, but even there was a lot of potential that wasn't used because, yes, Camilla and Laura were together at some point, but they didn't reveal it in public. The whole book plays in the 50s or 60s, I'm not quite sure, and I don't bother to look it up. But I was interested in reading about that, about a reveal in public, or just a discussion between Laura and Camilla, how it would be to get out of the closet, to live this relationship in the open, and how society would react, especially their parents. But this wasn't even considered in the story, not discussed once, and I was a bit sad about that. Also, I don't understand the whole fascination of vampires here, a fascination that mostly Camilla has, and that made it difficult for me to understand the obsession, the relationships, and why they get deeper and deeper into the whole vampire world and disconnects more and more with the real human world, which is also why I'm not sure if I'm satisfied with this ending, because in the end, Laura needs to make a decision if she wants to be a vampire too or if she wants to stay human, because Camilla is a vampire. Camilla died at some point in the story, and this was the only way that she can continue living. So Miss de La Fontaine made her a vampire, and I think I would have been more satisfied with the ending if Laura would have decided to stay human, at least for another few years, to explore the world, to explore who she really is, what she wants in life, because she is not at that point yet. For me, she was super young in her head, super naive, which is also why these spicy scenes felt a bit uncomfortable. Especially the first spicy scene between Camilla and Laura that was in public. And it was Laura's first time in general. That was a bit weird, but okay. They went with the vibe of this party. It fitted the whole obsession vibe that I didn't get, but it was at least consistent in this way. And I also don't know if it was a good ending for Miss de La Fontaine to split ways with Camilla and Laura, to start from scratch somewhere else. Because I think maybe it would have been better if she would have died with her former lover. I don't know, but it was a bit of a weird experience to read An Education in Malice for me. As I already told you, not super satisfied with this book, but also not super unsatisfied. It was mid in the end, it was okay. And please tell me in the comments what you think of An Education in Malice. Have you read the book? Have you liked it? Have you disliked the book? I would like to discuss it with you in the comments. But before I end the video, let's review which book is next after we finished now An Education in Malice. I decided to read now Rumored by Kelly and Christina Mancaroso. It is a thriller, and I'm really interested in reading this book. I have split it in 5 parts, so I will read it over the next 5 Thursdays, plus a discussion video afterwards. So stay tuned and like the video if you wanna follow my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye!